So part two, my dream about what I believe to be Amalek. Okay, I had two dreams last night. Okay, typically when you dream multiple different dreams in a night, they are usually telling you the same thing. They all have the same theme, right? Even though different things are happening, God is really communicating the same thing. So the first dream, I am at the house. I'm with my kids. I'm at two. I have three children, but I had two, my oldest two with me, and I was very concerned about their safety. And I was about to leave, but I'm like, I need to make sure my kids are safe first, right? And I had an alarm system on this house, and I'm like, if I leave, I'm just counting. I'm just like trying to figure it out, right? I need to figure out how can I leave and make sure that my children are safe. As I'm leaving, the person that I'm riding with, when I go to get in the car, I can't find a car. So like I kept getting held up. I kept getting delayed. Okay. Clock that. I kept getting held up. I kept getting delayed, but it was for my good because the last time I went to go try to find the car, I go to my back door. If you go back and watch part one, okay, about how Amalek attacks. I went to my back door, and as I'm going to my back door, like inside the house, I'm approaching the back door to walk out. Somebody is who I know, and I know who this person is. He is approaching my door from the outside. And I'm like, because this whole thing was about this person not being able to access my kids because I knew if he knew I was home, he wasn't going to try nothing. If he found out that they were there alone, he was going to try it. And there was a part of the dream where somebody, I call it dry snitching, but it was a little more than that, as my sister said, where she was like, I was like, he can't find out that I'm not here, or he's going to try to, do something concerning my kids, and I need to make sure that they're safe. And she was like, well, she sent a text that said, well, I'm so grateful that, you're not going to be there around 8 o'clock and that he doesn't know that da 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 da. And I'm like, why would you? Because he ended up seeing that text. I'm like, why would you say that? So the information was already compromised, right? So as I'm walking out, he's walking in. I'm like, what are you doing here? He was like, well, you weren't supposed to be here, and I'm finna da 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 because you ain't here, right? I knew the door was still locked, and I knew I had to keep the door locked to keep my kids safe. But somehow I end up outside, but the door is still locked. And I'm kind of like dancing like a boxer in the ring because he keeps trying to attack me. And every time he gets close to me, I'll doop, doop, doop. I'm fighting for my life, Ed. Every time he gets close to me, I doop, doop, and I like punch him in his head a few times, like all up in this area. And, he's getting bruises. He's starting to bleed and all this other. But every time he keeps trying, he ain't stopping like a crackhead. He ain't stopping. Every time he gets close, I have to hit him again, right? And I'm dancing. I'm doing all of this. In the very end, I'm like, dang, by the time the police show up, it's going to look like I'm the aggressor because he got all these marks and I'm unscathed. You're coming out unscathed. You're coming out unharmed, okay? And I have a post about this. Matter of fact, part 3, okay? Let's do a part 3 for this. Coming out unscathed. So that was the end of that dream. Second dream, I'm at a university. I used to go to the University of Louisville, right? Go Cards. I used to go to the University of Louisville. I'm at my university. I'm walking around from class to class, and there's this lady who is following me. I know she's following me, and she's trying to stunt like she's not following me. I'm like, bro, like, can I help you? And she's just like, I can't stay you. I ain't following you. You are following me, though. I know you're following me. And so we finally end up outside because I'm like shaking and moving and trying to like ditch her. And she's like on my heels or whatever. And we end up outside and she end up trying to attack me. So the gig is up. Your cover's blown. I know you're following me. Now you're trying to attack me. And it's the same thing. I'm bouncing around like I'm in a ring. And every time she get close, doo doo doo. This time I wasn't pressed about the police. But, I'm just like, every time she gets close, I have to. And eventually, towards the end, I end up like toppling her. Like, I'm no longer dancing. I'm on top of her and I'm like laying it out. Okay. And so 2 dreams now, 2 dreams where the enemy is at me. He's at me real, real hard. Okay. But I prevailed, but I came out unscathed. I came out unharmed. You hear me? The thing that I had to point out about this, Deuteronomy chapter 25. Remember what Amalek, verse 17, remember what Amalek did to you along the road when you came from Egypt, how he met you along the road and attacked all the stragglers at your rear when you were tired and weary and he did not fear God. Both of these dreams The first person, he came up to the back door trying to get in. The second dream, she was coming up on my heels and she kept following me. She's coming up from behind me, from the rear. It was very much giving Amalek, and it was very much letting me know this is what you're battling right now. So encourage yourself, strengthen yourself, don't complain, give a praise. Because if you haven't seen my episode, Bible study, prophetic Bible study with me, subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I think it's part 3, where God is like, yeah, I ain't been wearying you with burdens of prayer, of ministry, and of doing any of these things, but yet you ain't did none of the things. And then instead you're burdening me, you're wearying me with your wickedness, with your sin. And what is that sin? Complaining. You have to watch the episode. It's good. It's Chef's Kiss, honey. So all of this to say, we are in the month of Adar. Although we are, in a month of divine turnaround, of divine reversals, of God doing something miraculous and delivering us in ways that we have been longing for, tarrying for, waiting for, right? We also have to be alert that at this very last hour, when you're weary, when you're tired, when you know you're finna cross over, we at the tail end of it, we at the cusp, you gotta know that Amalek is finna be right here, and he's finna try to get you and attack you, and he's trying to stop you because he doesn't want you to cross over. He doesn't want you to cross over into the promised land, Jacob. He doesn't want you to he doesn't want you to come into covenant, the Israelites coming out of Egypt. He doesn't want you to come into authority, Esther. He doesn't want any of those things happening because he knows the dent that is going to put on his kingdom. So this month, we have to not just be hopeful, not just be encouraged, and not just be looking to God and looking to the hills from which cometh our help, which keep your eyes on things above and not beneath, okay? Look to the hills from which cometh your help. Your help comes from the Lord. But also, we have to know that we're still fighting. We still have spiritual warfare. The weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God, through the pulling down of strongholds, okay? We have to know that Amalek is going to attack, and we have to know how he's going to attack and how to fight back. So, if you are interested in, God's timing, if you're interested in all of this information, the Hebrew months, what that means for us prophetically, the spiritual meaning behind God's timing today, and not just in the Bible, but how that translates into our life, then get your book. The link is in either the bio or the comments, depending on what you're watching. If this is TikTok or Instagram, the link is in the bio. If it's YouTube or Facebook, the link is in the comments. And just a friendly reminder, if you haven't seen the other parts, I have a very, I don't know if it's a humble goal or an audacious goal, but I have a goal or like a heart's desire to sell 1,000 copies. It's hard to even say out loud. I have a goal or like a desire to sell like 1,000 copies within the first week. So that means this week and next week, because this week is pre-sale. Next week is the first week, the first official week, and they both count towards the first week. So if you would love to support, please get your copy. The link is available.